Oh, when can you correct the problem?
We are currently attempting to isolate the corrupted circuit pathways. I reckon the process should take less than 2 hours.
What did you say?
I said the process should take less than 2 hours.
No, you said, I reckon.
According to my memory logs, I did not use those words. Y'all must be mistaken.
There, Data, you did it again.
Did what?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fully Functional, TNG Podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo.
Jeff and I are Star Trek veterans, and Dory is a rookie Trekkie, and we are taking her on her first journey through Star Trek: The Next Generation. Today we're discussing the Season 6 episode, A Fistful of Datas. Original air date, November 7th, 1992, and as always, we'll take it to Dory for the recap.
Okay, so the Enterprise has entered orbit of a planet whose name I'm not bothering to try.
It's literally not important. Like, it is not brought up even remotely once in the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I can't read what it says, so I'm calling it D7. Okay, but their scheduled rendezvous with the supply ship Biko, doesn't matter.
Actually,
has been...
that one's interesting because it was a kind of a ballsy reference for them to make. Because it's the name of a guy who was beaten and killed by the what do you call it? By the government of South Africa in the attempt to like break out of apartheid. And this was like full, yeah. And
God.
This was like a full year before Nelson Mandela became president. So like this was like topical at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wild reference.
Yep. Especially in an episode like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So the supply ship has been delayed for another 48 hours. The crew's doing their own shit. Picard is playing his mini recorder, and he's recording his mini recorder. It's very adorable. And
that's the recorder that he got from the lifetime that he lived and died.
Yeah, from the Inner Light.
Yeah. Okay, Geordi and Data come in, and they want to take engineering computer offline for a few hours. They are working on a new interface that would allow Data to act as an emergency backup in the event of a ship-wide systems failure. In theory, his neural network should be able to sustain key systems until primary control is restored. Cool.
It's such a stupid premise.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't understand the science, it's like, Data would be a backup for the ship. Really? Why?
Yeah, Data is their external hard drive.
Yeah. he's like the USB stick that has like the Windows on it or whatever.
Quickly, send to Data.
Yeah.
Okay, so Picard's like, great, sounds cool. Fuck off, I want to keep recording my music. And Geordi's like, oh, also, we might be able to route secondary systems through Data also, i.e. weapons, which I thought this episode was going to go something towards weapons. It did not.
I mean, there were several weapons in it.
Yes, but I thought like at some point Data was going to control the weapons.
Oh,
Yeah.
you thought that it was going to be a fistful of Data torpedoes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
something like that.
I mean, like honestly, for a holodeck malfunction episode, the stakes are remarkably low.
Okay.
Which I don't mind.
So they're like, cool. Picard's like, great. Okay, bye. Whatever. Okay, so now Dr. C comes in and interrupts Picard, and she's like, hey, come play a part in my play. And he's like, oh, I don't really have the time to be the lead. And she's like, no, it's cool. You can have like 2 lines. And he looks absolutely shaken by her suggestion that he only has 2 lines. He's like, in his face, his mouth says nothing, but his face says, how dare you?
Yeah, because he's like, oh no, I couldn't possibly have the time, and she's like, oh no, that's okay. I didn't want you for the lead anyway.
Yeah, and she's like, we're rehearsing at 1:30. See you later. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Worf comes in and he's like, I want to do a ship-wide security drill. And Picard's like, bro, stop.
Yeah. Chill.
You have free fucking time.
Yeah.
Maybe use it. And Worf is like, fuck. And then we cut to why he's like, fuck. Mm-hmm. It's Alexander.
Yeah. It's his son.
Alexander
A+ dad.
he puts he wants to play a program in the holodeck of what they call the Ancient West.
I love that they say it like that several times, which, I mean, I get why. It's just very amusing.
Yeah, it's funny because because to them, ancient means like fucking like present day, but also like ancient Egypt. Like it's just it's such a wide
is a
term.
spectrum.
I mean, we don't say ancient Italy when we're talking about the Renaissance, so like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah. Although we do have a pretty broad range for ancient.
We do.
Because-
we do.
Like we discussed this the other day in our group chat, but like one of the facts that always gets to me is that Cleopatra lived closer to our time than she did to the building of the pyramids.
Even though she
Like,
was queen of those
wild.
pyramids.
Yeah. Like so like to the ancient Romans, like fucking like those pyramids were already ancient to them.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
It's wild. Okay, so then like Alexander gives Worf a hat and goes, "Saddle up, father."
Yeah.
He says father
so
a lot in
good.
this episode.
Yeah.
This might be
does.
like the most enjoyable Alexander episode up until this point.
You know, listen, I did enjoy him in Rascals. He did a good job in Rascals.
He was in
he
it for
was,
like 2
helpful.
scenes.
But he helped.
Yeah.
Listen, there's not a lot we can like give Alexander credit for, so I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. And Rascals, he was fun. This episode, he was fun. Sort of. You know what? I'll allow it.
It was fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Spoilers, but he gets like kidnapped halfway through and you don't have to deal with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wrote like Worf looks terrified with wearing the hat. Spending time with Alexander. Both. Okay, so now we cut to they're in the holodeck. We're in Ancient West, but this shot of their like you see their boots first, and then like the spurs, and then like their outfit, and then Alexander is like, "We're in Deadwood, aka 19th century Earth," and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. As someone who watched the television show Deadwood, Alexander should not be anywhere near Deadwood.
Okay, wait. Let's be fair here. All of the names of towns in this, because there were 3 towns named, I think. There was Deadwood, there was Rapid City, I think, and there was one more. And they are all towns near where the person who did the revisions on the script grew up near.
Oh, like it's in one of the Dakotas, I think.
Yeah, I think it's South Dakota, which is weird because in the deputy's office there's a map of Arizona. So like, all right,
Yeah.
sure thing,
I mean,
guys.
it's like a fictional town. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty
Deadwood
much.
is real town.
Yeah,
Was a
Deadwood
real
is real.
place.
Rapid
Yeah,
City
but
is real.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think they're fictional towns that happen to be named after real places. Like I don't think
Yes.
they're trying to claim this is the real Deadwood.
But
They-
if
yes.
it were, that would be even weirder that they've got a Mexican guy there because this is like northern United States.
Yeah.
They should, if anything, they
Yeah.
should have like renegade Canadians.
Yeah.
Renegade Canadians.
Yeah.
That sounds like an
Well,
oxymoron.
probably like indigenous people too.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, that would have been around the time of like the Louis Riel rebellion and whatnot. So Manitoba is not that far from Montana.
True.
Okay, so Worf is now into it because he gets to be sheriff, and Alexander is the deputy. Worf he really just likes the idea that he gets to be the law.
Yeah.
So okay.
ACAB, even Worf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, Worf, I love you, but no.
But ACAB, yeah.
No. Yeah.
Especially
Alexander.
the Old West. Because, like, that...
Yep.
Yeah, this was not a good... Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah. But it's fake,
okay,
so I can forgive him.
We'll allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so back in regular Enterprise world, Data asks Geordi if he's growing a beard. People keep dunking on Geordi's beard.
Yeah.
I think they were doing that, or they wrote that into it on purpose.
Yeah.
For the record, the reason that LeVar Burton has a beard right now, because like normally if you do any kind of like change to your hair or to your whatever, you have to clear it with the production because you're on it. So and he went to the producers and said, "Look, guys, I know that I didn't clear the beard thing with you, but I'm getting married in a couple of weeks, and I would like to get married with the beard. So if you could allow that, that would be great." And they were like,
"Aw,
okay, fair enough."
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I think the beard suits LeVar Burton.
Oh yeah, I like it too.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It doesn't stick around forever, but
it is
it's
funny
there for
that
a
like,
while.
but like they didn't have to dunk on the beard though.
No,
Yeah,
they
they do that. Yeah, I like it's mean.
Although I think they did dunk on Jonathan Frakes' beard when he first got it though, so I guess
the
it's fair.
initiation of the beards.
Yeah.
Okay, so so Data asked Geordi if he's growing a beard. This was a cute exchange. Enjoyed it. Then there was something I said. Okay, like there's something that they were talking about. Like Data is like plugged in, and I just wrote Data is the holodeck now. That was foreshadowing. I didn't even know I was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Worf, back in the holodeck, Worf notices a sex worker on the balcony, and I was like, Alexander? But then fortunately they answer. So Worf says to Alexander, you wrote this holodeck program yourself? And then Alexander goes, well, Mr. Barclay helped a little. Reg!
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cringe.
Reg, how much of a hand did you have in this? Because honestly, this could be a fucking drinking game.
Yeah.
Of how many things in this holodeck program is something that Reg fucking came up with. Because there's a 0% chance some of this shit that happened, Alexander had any understanding or anything.
Yeah.
Reg, what the fuck, Reg? This is also a child. Reg, there was violence.
Yeah.
There was violence, Reg. Oh, also, because I really liked Deadwood, the TV show, so I did write in my notes, is that Al Swearengen's place or Powers Booth? I couldn't remember the name of the character that Powers Booth plays, but he was the guy who's a piece of shit across the street who shows up. For anyone who did watch Deadwood.
I've never seen
I can't remember the character's name, but he had this like intense... He had white hair and a black mustache. And Al Swearengen was Ian McShane. Okay. Anyways. So we're now in the saloon. There's a whole ass other scene going on in this saloon before like Worf and Alexander even walk in. Mm-hmm. And we meet this guy named Eli Hollander. He's killed 23 men and he's also known as the Butcher of Bozeman. Okay. So Worf's like, I'm the law now, and walks in and goes right over to Eli and goes, you're under arrest. And Eli's like, is that so? And then like Worf immediately knocks him right down. Mm-hmm. And then Alexander freezes the program because he's like, that was too fucking easy, Dad. Like what or father.
Yeah. It's like, it's too easy. You have to like, you
have to go to level 4. We have to level up, Dad, father. So then they reset up for the scene. There's drinking, and then I wrote, Jesus, how involved was Reg? Because there's like a lot of drink. Yeah, anyways. Okay, Eli. Okay, so we could come back in. Eli calls Worf ugly, which was rude. Worf just like Oh, so one of Eli's guys like hits Worf with a chair, but Worf versus chair, Worf wins in
Yeah.
that contest, that battle. And Worf then takes out a few of the guys, and he's like into it now. Like he had to warm up to it, and he was into it once he started to be able to take other guys down.
Yeah, because it's
Then
like his
Eli-
exercise program where he fights the skeleton men, except now it's
Yes.
cowboys.
Yeah. So, okay. Then Eli points the gun at Worf, and he tells his friend to like gather, to take money and jewelry. And Worf goes, "You're a murderer and a thief." And then Eli goes, "A man's got to make a living." And then his hat gets shot off his head. And then the best fucking entrance this show has ever seen. Cut to Troy over by the door. She goes, "I suggest you find a new line of work." Honestly, fucking incredible. And and Worf's like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? And then Alexander's like, "I asked Counselor Troy to join us." I'm like, "You fucking did, Alexander. Good for you. High fives." My biggest complaint of this episode, not enough Troy.
Yeah. Because she was really funny in like...
Oh my
yeah.
God. I have so much to say about her in this episode, and I wish I had even more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now back in regular Enterprise, Geordi and Data are doing their tests, secondary systems, everything. Like there's an energy fluctuation in Data's neural net, disconnecting his interface from the computer. So then Data gets up and then like flips. I don't even know what he was fucking around with, but he like holds something and like flips it about and then like holsters it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like a scanner
uh-oh.
or something. He like does...
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you see like guys do like gun tricks where they like flip the gun and stuff. That's what he did with the whatever he was using.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, oh boy. And so then, okay, back in the holodeck, Worf's like, says to Troy, what are his, about Eli? Oh, Eli's been arrested. He's in their little jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
And Worf goes, what are his rights in this century? Is there a trial or shall I execute him? Like Worf are having like way too much fucking fun with this. And then Eli Hollander pulls a Draco Malfoy. He's basically like, my pa will hear about this.
Yeah.
Everyone says like dad different in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
My pal.
My pal.
So yeah, and then Troy just fucking lounging around at the desk, feet up, looking cool as fuck. On like this is truly might be one of my best my favorite Troy looks.
Yeah.
She looks incredible.
Yeah.
This is such a good, like, she just had so much fun with, I bet like Marina Sirtis had so much fucking fun with this, and
yeah.
I wish she had more.
I've got a little bit of a story about that, actually.
Oh.
Okay, so supposedly in the scene where she's like sitting back in the sheriff's chair, and like puffing on like a cigar, she was
looks cool as
she was
fuck.
trying to blow smoke rings. And Michael Dorn like interrupted her and like blew away all the rings and was just like, "Stop it! Don't be funnier than me. This is my episode." Which
Well,
I
I'm
could
sorry,
totally
Michael
see
Dorn,
Michael
but-
Dorn doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am sorry, Michael Dorn. She kind of succeeded in being funnier than you.
Yeah.
Troy, truly, this
Yeah.
was everything.
I mean, I think
So
they're on
Troy-
par because Worf is like, he's the straight man, so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then Worf's asking Troy for like help or questions, whatever, and she's like, "I'm just passing through," and Worf's like, "Counselor, I would love for you to some support right now," and she's like, "Durango." And I'm like, "Oh, Counselor Durango." That's like the name she wanted after her. So apparently, like, her dad read her books about the ancient West, and she just was like obsessed with the idea of playing just like a mysterious stranger, and she got that moment. I love it. I'll talk about it later. I love it. Okay, yeah. So she's like blowing smoke into Worf's face, and I fucking love it. Oh, but she's like, "Listen, you want my help? I'll be a temporary deputy for $500. And Alexander is like, "Sounds great. I'll go to the bank." I'm like, bitch, what? I'm like, Alexander's gonna go make a withdrawal at
banks
the
exist.
bank,
Yeah.
but he's a baby. Who's giving a baby $500?
Yeah, but
I know it's not real.
Yeah.
But like, what?
But in the holodeck program, Alexander's the deputy, so it makes sense in the world of the holodeck program.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just looking at Alexander as she's still a fucking child.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's fair. He's the deputy. He can go make a bank withdrawal. Oh, yes. So then, yeah, she tells the story of her mysterious stranger. I love that for her. I love her being the mysterious stranger. And, oh, yeah, then I wrote in my notes, there should be a game. Who added this to the program? Alexander or Reg? Okay, so then we have this lady, Annie. She comes in to the sheriff's office. Station? What do they call it? The
Office, I'd say. It's not really a station.
The office?
Yeah.
The office? Okay. And she kisses Worf, and she's like, I have dinner for you later. And Worf's like, no, sorry, can't make it. Ha 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 ha. I got like a prisoner. But Annie's like, oh, now let's play this game real quick. Was this submitted by Reg or Alexander? Annie goes, it's that floozy down there at Miss Langford's house of pleasure, isn't it? And then she slaps Worf and leaves. So who added that? Reg or Alexander?
I mean, probably Reg.
Yeah, Reg, what the fuck? Okay, so back in regular Enterprise, Picard is lounging in his rocking chaise, which I can't decide if I love or am fucking terrified of. I hate rocking chairs, but I love a chaise lounge, so this is my Sophie's choice. It's my nightmare and my dream at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, and he listens to a recording of himself. Love that for Picard. But then there's a glitch in the music and it starts to play a different song. And he's like, what the fuck? Okay, so now we cut to Dr. C's rehearsal for a play, whose name I did not write down. But we find out, Riker's in this play. So they're reading off these like little iPads, and he starts reading this shit, and I was immediately like, is this fucking Ode to Spot or some shit? But I think apparently it's just like different poetry Data wrote about Spot.
No,
And
it's the same one.
It is Ode to
Yes.
Spot? Yes, I was right.
Yeah, I'm really glad you recognize that.
Yeah. And Dr. C is like, Riker, you silly goose. That's not the lines. And he's like, it's what's on the fucking iPad. So there's no play, only Ode to Spot. So then, okay, we find out that interface issues related to the experiment. What? Anyways, I don't know. Okay, so now back in the holodeck, Alexander is walking back from the bank with the money, and he gets full out snatched on the street. And it's the guys from the saloon who are with Eli. And Alexander's like, no, wait, I wasn't supposed to be kidnapped yet. Like, yet?
It's good old
Alexander.
It's good old fashioned 80s stranger danger.
Yeah. Just real life kidnapping. Okay, so then they bring the guy, blah, blah, and then we see Alexander is brought to Eli's father, who is revealed to be Mustache Data. And yeah, but then Alexander's like, wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to get kidnapped yet. Computer freeze program, but Mustache Data continues to move. His name is actually Frank, but I will continue to call him Mustache Data.
But he's not even the only Mustache Data in the episode.
I know there's multiple Mustache Datas, but this will be main Mustache Data.
Yeah.
Data. Okay, so then in regular Enterprise, it's real Data and Spot. Data has custom made Spot's food, but Spot is not interested. Classic cat. So Data goes, I find it extremely difficult to predict what you will find acceptable. Data, that is, welcome to cats.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect thing to describe cats.
Yeah.
And then, so Data goes and sits down at his desk because Spot is not interested in food, but Spot follows and he is interested in Data's work. But like the way Data keeps picking Spot up and like dropping him on the ground over and over again, I was like, Data, Jesus Christ. Spot just wants to help you work. Okay, so back in the holodeck, Worf gets distracted by a drink while looking for Alexander. He's like, my child is missing, but some, I don't remember if it was Annie or a bartender. They're like, have a drink, and Worf is like, okay,
Yeah.
my missing child will have to wait.
Well, he assumes it's all within the parameters of the program and shit, so.
But still, he was still like looking
Yeah.
for Alexander, and he just like, because I don't think he realizes he's in like danger, but he just is like, it's fine, Alexander can wait. Okay, then in walks Mustache Data, and he's like, I'm here for my son, and Worf's like, oh, I'm sorry, he's gonna go to trial for murder. And then I thought Mustache Data was gonna be like, oh, that's so weird because your son is about to be murdered. Mustache Data grabs Worf's shoulder and it like hurts Worf, and Worf is like, what the fuck, Commander? Oh my god, the way he says that though, I legit was like, oh no, Worf.
Yeah.
So Worf manages to like get out of the saloon. Oh yeah, they start firing at him, but he like dives through those doors and then just disappears. So I love the idea that Worf would have had to like crawl out of like vision. I like that. Yeah, he just like crawls away. I'm assuming he crawls away. Okay, so then Troy is back in the office practicing drawing her gun. Office does not feel like the right word, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is. I feel like I don't know what the right word is, but okay. So then Worf comes in. Worf's been shot for fucking real. So cool.
Yeah.
They
Because
try
of
to
course
stop-
the safeties are disabled because
Yeah.
they always are.
Okay, let's be
so,
fair. We haven't had a safeties or disabled episode in a while.
That's true.
in a while. Yeah, so they're stuck in the holodeck program. So now Eli, who was in the jail cell, is also now Data. So I wrote, is everyone going to be played by Data at some point? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Brett Spiner looks like he's having like probably the best time fucking filming this episode.
He is.
Yeah.
He loved it.
Because like he's just like chewing the scenery.
You know what's
and-
even a bigger reason that he's having so much fun with it? Patrick Stewart's the one directing the episode,
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
and he also had a lot of fun doing it. Apparently, like everyone who was up for a director's chair for this episode was really excited to do it because everybody wants to try to do a Western.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Party. Okay, so Troy's like, oh, even though the holodeck safeguards have gone to shit, if we like continue the story, we should get to the end of the program and it'll terminate. So they think. So I just wrote like 3 times, let Troy do more. Okay. So back in regular Enterprise, the interface experiment may have caused one of the computer core's subroutines to be altered. When the interface malfunction occurred, the subroutine C47 was replaced by elements from Data. I almost said David. From Data's personal programming. C47 controls library computer access, replicator selection, recreational programming, no critical systems. I would argue a lot of that is critical, but that's just me. Okay, so apparently the replicators on decks 4 to 9 are producing only cat food. So, sorry, decks 4 through 9. That sounds like a bummer. Okay, so then Picard and Riker, they're talking to Data, and Data says, I reckon, and they're like absolutely shaken to their very core.
Yeah.
And then Data just starts using a Southern accent. He's just gone full Southern drawl. And they're like, what? And then he walks away and spits on the floor. So Troy then notices that Eli Data, I couldn't think of anything for
Yeah.
him. I just put Eli Data. I don't know.
That's fine.
He's shuffling cards, and that Troy sort of deduces that I did say the Doppel-Datas. I did call them the Doppel-Datas. Must have Data's abilities because of like the way that he's shuffling.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, Worf went out to see if there were any witnesses to Alexander's abduction. There was a lot of fucking witnesses to a child being kidnapped. But here we are. Okay, so Mustache Data has come to see Eli Data, and oh my god, I was so happy for Troy with this because, okay, Data is talking to Data, and he's like, who the fuck's that? And then Eli Data's like, I don't fucking know. And I was like, yes, Troy got to be the mysterious stranger. No one knows who she is.
Nice.
I loved it. Okay, so Worf agrees to the Sun Exchange. And then Troy says, listen, in every Western, the villain always breaks the agreement. And Worf is shocked.
Yeah.
He's like, but an agreement? But honor? And Troy's like, okay, there's a gunfighter with skills and accuracy of an android, and he's gonna try to kill you in 2 hours. We gotta fucking think of something.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so real Data and Geordi think that part of Data's memory structure was replaced with information from the computer's recreational database, specifically the files relating to the American 19th century West. Cool. That's weirdly specific. So then Riker says that would explain the accent. And then Data goes, you got it, partner, in which Netflix spelled partner Pardner.
Partner, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually like a common misspelling of it. Yeah, it's kind of the it's like the way of transliterating the way that they would have said it in the Old West.
Yeah.
All right, so now they're doing memory purges all over the place. I don't even remember what that means in the context of this episode. I just wrote memory purges all over the place. Anyways, okay, Worf and Troy discuss their plan. And Annie comes in. She brings them a telegraph machine so they can make an energy field. But it will last for 15 seconds. I should have timed it. I didn't, but I should have. Okay, so now...
Dropping the ball.
I know. I'm sorry. God, what a failure on my part. Okay, so now Worf, Eli Data, Mustache Data, and Alexander meet in the street. The Sun Exchange is on. All right, so then we cut to 2 other Doppel-Datas in the area. They are Mustache Data's minions. One of them is wearing an absolutely ridiculous mustache.
That's
yeah,
the
very silly.
the one that's supposed to be like Mexican, right?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
with the big poncho and sombrero.
Yeah, it is wild.
Yeah, and questionable.
Yes, yeah. So, of course, they're... Okay, the sun... Okay, wait, what? What did I write? Okay. Mustache Data... Okay, so they do the exchange. The sons are walking. And then Mustache Data is like, son, get down! And so he can shoot at Worf. But Worf's able to put up the little energy field and deflect bullets. And I wrote, this is the too many cooks of Datas.
Yeah.
There's just so many Datas.
Yeah, a fistful of them. If you
Yeah,
will.
it's a fistful of data.
Yes. Yes. So then Troy just like pops out from under a blanket on a wagon and uses a fucking terrible accent. But I'll allow it because anything with Troy in this episode, I will allow it. Okay, so then Worf shoots the gun out of Mustache Data's hand, and Worf banishes Mustache Data. He's like, no, I don't kill you. I banish you.
Do not show
Run
your
away.
face in this town again.
Yeah.
He's like, run away, Simba. Run away and never return. Okay, so now Troy, Worf, and Alexander are in the saloon. The program still won't end. What's left? And then, truly, chef's kiss. Mm-hmm. We now get Annie data.
Yeah.
Just like that's what we were waiting for, and it's incredible. And so we have Brett Spiner in this great dress and this wig, and it's wonderful. And Worf sees this and is like, computer and program.
Yeah.
And then, but Worf does let Annie Data hug him, and I wrote in my notes, Worf is having just gay panic at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, this does kind of unfortunately fall into like that. It's a bit of a transphobic trope of like, haha, men in dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not the most egregious example of it.
No,
yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah.
For me, I enjoyed it because
Yeah.
it looks like Brett Spiner had so much fun.
Yeah.
And Worf wasn't, his reaction, not to give Worf credit in this, but it could have been way worse. He
Yeah.
just did like, he was like, okay, whatever. And
It's
just
like,
like,
no, thank
let
you.
him hug him.
Especially
He's like,
since
no, but then let him hug him. And he's like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, especially since his character already had no interest in that other character. He was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, this is
Okay, so
extra
it doesn't-
awkward because this is Data. Like,
Yeah. So I guess it's not that actually.
Yeah, Worf,
forgot about
Worf
that. So that
probably would
actually
have
makes it
reacted the
not
same
that-
way, regardless of
Yeah,
the fact
so
that that's Data.
yeah, so that's actually not him being weird with Data. That's him just not wanting to like engage in Annie version of Annie.
yeah.
So, okay, that's like makes it. I get that's okay. All right. Okay, so now computer is fixed. The supply ship meetup is done. We don't care. Okay,
Yeah.
so now Worf is tucking Alexander in, and Alexander goes, Father, after what happened, I guess you'll never want to go back to the ancient West. And then Worf goes, the town of Deadwood may face danger once again. If they do, they will need a sheriff and a deputy. And he walks away, and then Worf puts on his hat and looks in the mirror, and he's like, I'm ready to go back. Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I loved it. It was so cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. Because Worf, he, like, puts on the hat and starts, like, playing in the mirror, and he does, like, a fake draw of his, like, gun. Ugh.
Yeah, honestly, I like this episode.
Yeah, I thought
It was
this
fun.
Yeah, I thought this would be an episode you'd get a kick out of.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I really miss holodeck shit, and this was fun. This was fun.
I have always enjoyed this episode, but I guess my only real problem with it as like a film buff is that while it has all of the beats of a Western, it really doesn't have anything else of a Western. It's just kind of a parody. And like that's fine. Like that isn't a problem. I wish there were like a little bit more Western love in it, but also reading into the background of it being made today when I was watching it, I discovered why a lot of that is, and that's that Patrick Stewart is actually super inexperienced with Westerns. He basically did all of his learning about them in research for doing this episode.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
whereas most of the other people that would have been really excited to do a Western were excited because they all grew up with Westerns. It's like a part of their culture. Because these
So
are
why
people
did
in like
Patrick
the 90s.
Stewart get to do it?
Because he's like, well, everyone's got to have at least one Western out of their belt. There was another person who was slated to do it, but then they weren't available for some reason, and he was next on the list. So he was just like,
okay.
great, I got it. This is amazing. And in his defense, he absolutely loved doing it. And you can tell.
Yeah.
I think the problems in it not really feeling like a Western, some of that is in the script. And some of that comes from the fact that the guy who wrote it had his content heavily edited by Brandon Braga immediately afterwards. And that said, the guy who wrote this so impressed everyone who worked with him under it that he got hired onto the DS9 team and wrote 37 episodes for them.
Oh, geez.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, not like 100% just him, but like he was part of the writing of 37 separate episodes, and some of them are some real good shit too. So like that's kind of cool to find out. Also, the
Like-
original script had a romance between Troy and Worf.
No.
Yep.
I would not have been in favor of that. I love them both, but separately. I like their team up as friends. I like when they put, because like they do that once in a while, and I really like when Worf and Troy get paired up to do shit. And I like that for once it was, because normally it's related to Alexander, and though yes, technically Alexander was involved in this, but Worf and Troy got to do their own planning and shit. Like the interactions weren't between the three of them. It was mostly Troy and Worf.
Yeah, and the story wasn't about like how to deal with Alexander. It just Alexander
For
was
once,
just there.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that like Alexander didn't get like it wasn't like screaming, he wasn't crying, he just was like, wait, the kidnapping's later.
Yeah.
Like Alexander was pretty chill in this episode.
Yeah. I think
Surprisingly.
I watched this like a few days ago, so I forgot a couple things, but like, so correct me if I'm remembering wrong, but I think like even when he is like kidnapped and it's clear like that this is like serious or whatever, he tries to escape, or like he's just like not panicked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still pretty chill.
Yeah.
He's like, freeze computer. And then, but Mustache Jada keeps going, and he's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, that's not good.
When I rewatched this episode, I'd kind of forgotten what happens, because this is usually a skip for me. It's not that I like dislike the episode, it just usually doesn't like pique my interest. So I thought that real Data was gonna like become bad or whatever. Like I thought he was gonna become a like because nothing really happens to real Data. Like he just gets like the accent really.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna join in.
Yeah,
because he started getting the accent, using and then like started having like the, you know, not personality, but like I thought he was gonna like bust in and like help or something. I thought that's what we were going towards.
Yeah,
but then
I thought real Data was gonna start committing crimes on the ship. Is what I thought. I kind of like. I'm of two minds of it. Like I would have liked to see that, like this like problem with real Data, but I'm also
Data behaving badly.
yeah, but I'm also kind of glad they kept the story focused to the holodeck stuff.
Yeah, I think I am too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of like meshing the A plot and the B plot.
did,
so
yeah.
they were like, they were linked, but not in like an annoying way. It just was like, oh, okay, it's all connected.
Yeah.
And yes, I appreciated that. And yeah, so many Doppel-Datas.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great.
I like Spanish
Yeah,
Data
so
the best
fun.
in terms of his look. It's just so ridiculous looking.
That mustache truly looked like it was about to fall off. Like it was so big.
Yeah.
I still quote the Mexican guy from the beginning sometimes when I'm making jokes with friends. I'm just like, "You're a very funny man, senor." Oh man, that part would absolutely not fly in anything made today.
No, I was about to say it's kind of racist.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like it's
like
an homage to like spaghetti western shit. So like you can
Yeah,
pass it
and
off as it's not being a racist stereotype as much as it is trying to be as what's the word?
I mean, it is.
It's trying to be as authentic to what it's imitating as possible. And
Yeah,
the
but
problem
what
is that
it's imitating is a racist stereotype.
I know, but
Like,
what I'm was going for is that the fact that the episode is framing this around as if it's like a real historical thing, whereas the Old West is very much not like that. Like it was a very, very short period in American history that has just been heavily romanticized.
Yeah, I mean, it was romanticized even at the time.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Our whole view of the Old West is colored by like road side road attractions and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like there would be traveling shows about like the Old West and stuff, which was like
Oh, yes. In the TV show Deadwood, Wild Bill Hickok shows up in the town.
yeah.
Then he gets murdered, but...
Oh, that happens
he gets
in
shot
Murdoch
by-
Mysteries.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, in Murdoch Mysteries, an Old West show comes to town, and like one of the people gets killed at the show.
Oh, he doesn't get killed at the show. He gets shot in the head while he's playing poker because this guy, played by Garrett Dillahunt, I think that's his name, he shows up. He's like angry because he's losing against Bill. And then he leaves and then he comes back and shoots him and kills him. And then later, Garrett comes back as a fully different character. And they're like, we thought you wouldn't notice. I'm like, no, we noticed.
Yeah.
That's the same actor. He's a very good actor, but just like truly like fully different character. He's not supposed to be the same character. And like disguise, fully different character. But yeah, like that's like I think at the very beginning of the series is when Wild Bill shows up.
Yeah.
He's played by...
I think in Murdoch Mysteries it's also Wild Bill. I wonder if Wild Bill was just like the one famous
like
for doing the shows and stuff.
Maybe. I don't know anything about him other than he was in Deadwood. I'm trying to remember. I think... Oh, he was played by... Okay, Keith Carradine.
I don't know who that is.
That's a name.
Yeah, he's part of like... There's like a family the Carradines who are like actors and shit.
The
I don't know
name
if it's
does
his
sound
uncle or
vaguely
his
familiar.
dad. He was in like his uncle or his dad or someone or was in Kill Bill.
Is it David Carradine or something like that?
There's a bunch of them, but I don't. One of them was in Kill Bill. He was, I think, Bill.
Yeah, David Carradine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they're like father, uncle, son.
Okay.
I don't not son,
I
not son.
don't
but
actually. I
something
don't
like
think
that.
David
They're related
Carradine
to
was in
some.
Kill Bill. Oh wait, sorry. For some reason, my brain. I heard Kill Bill, but my brain was saying Silence of the Lambs.
It's basically the same
Because-
movie, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's because my brain confused Kill Bill with Buffalo Bill. But yeah, David Carradine, he is in Kill Bill, and he was kind of famous for doing like kung fu movies and stuff.
Okay.
Also, I think I have to double check this.
Oh, okay. Keith Carradine is his paternal half brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Computer, phone. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Yeah, so, yeah, David Carradine is one of those people that's famous for dying via autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So very random, but because I'm on the Wikipedia page. Okay, this is a wild coincidence considering I just talked about Garrett Dillahunt. But apparently, Keith Carradine's child is Martha Plimpton. Martha Plimpton played Garrett Dillahunt's wife in a TV show that I'm trying to remember what it's called. I want to say Raising Hope. It was a cute show. I think that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? But what a wild coincidence.
Oh, she was in the Goonies. That's why I remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of the older girls. Like Sean Astin's sister, this was his sister's friend. Like the woman that played his sister, she played his sister in the movie's friend.
Oh, yeah, that's what a wild coincidence. Just talking about Garrett Dillahunt and
Yeah. She was also in Frozen 2, apparently.
The Frozening.
Wild. Well, thanks for coming to Carradine Corner, I guess.
Yeah.
Not bad. That was pretty good.
Anyways, listen, Dead Hunt.
Dead
Oh
Hunt.
my God.
Deadwood.
Deadwood.
Death Star.
Oh my God. Deadwood was a wild TV show. Yes. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other background with this?
Like background info for the episode?
Yeah.
Sort of, but it's not. I wouldn't
Ooh.
say any of it's all that interesting. It's mostly details about people having like a real shit time on the the Paramount backlot where they were shooting all of the outdoor stuff, because it was something like 110 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that, and they were just like all dying of
fuck.
heat and like rushing into any sort of air conditioning for whatever 5 minutes they could get. And they mentioned that they felt real bad for the stunt people who had to be under prosthetics, because they're like, yeah, that is basically
Oh,
suicide.
shit.
But
Oh,
yeah, they got to
God.
do all the outdoor stuff in a single day, and Patrick Stewart got to ride a crane while they were filming. Yeah, for the shootout scene.
Yeah. It's very funny because Patrick Stewart, like, you think of him as, like, you know, this sort of Shakespearean proper dude, but he loves fucking, like, off-roading and,
Yep.
like, you know, doing all this, like, bro shit. It's very funny.
He's a big dork, and I really appreciate
yeah.
that.
Oh, totally.
Well, was this his first episode that he directed?
Not his first.
No.
No, he directed another one. Geez, wasn't this season? It was last season. I don't remember which one
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember because I think I forgot to bring it up when we were recording the podcast, but I was going to say that it's like, I love Patrick Stewart, but his directing I don't think was very good in that episode.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. He directed
but
a
I imagine
total
that
of
might-
5 episodes, apparently. Oh, it was
Yeah.
the Data Has a Girlfriend episode.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like not the
Yeah.
best episode.
Yeah. That's also seems like just a weird one for Patrick Stewart to...
Yeah.
To direct.
He also directed another Data episode that you quite like, Maggie. Hero Worship.
Oh! Yeah, see, that seems
Oh.
much more up Patrick Stewart's alley.
Yes. Yes. And they've got he actually directs another Data episode in the future that's an extremely weird one,
Ooh.
but yeah, anyway.
Oh.
That's
Oh, is it the... Is it the one with the masks?
No, it's the one where Data's dreaming.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
I won't say
Yeah,
anymore.
the episodes
So
get
I-
weird.
Season
Yeah.
7 takes a very strange direction. The
You can kind of tell they're running out of ideas, honestly.
yeah, the general consensus is that season 6 was like the high point of TNG because it has some of the most complex well done episodes, and it's funny because we haven't reached them yet. And then season 7 they kind of start trying to figure out new things because they're like, well, we've kind of exhausted what we can do with these characters on the ship. Let's figure out ways to do other things with them, and some of it is successful, some of it isn't. But it's one of those situations where it's kind of like season 9 of The Simpsons, where it was still consistently pretty high quality, but there are some misses in there.
It's too bad I wasn't around to give them any of my predictions, which they could have turned into
That's true.
episodes.
That's true. Well, go message Terry Matalas and tell him that he should do a spin-off of Star Trek Picard with all of the TNG cast again, and just be like, just do these episodes now. My weird ideas. Have fun.
Or maybe I will give ideas to Strange New Worlds. I keep wanting to call it Brave New World. Did you guys ever finish
I just
season
did
2?
yesterday, actually. It took me a real long time to get to it because I don't know. I've been real stressed with like trying to watch new things lately. It's just anytime that it's like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this. It's like, oh yeah, but then I have to like commit to it, and I don't know. I get stressed out even thinking about it. So it took me a
Okay.
while to get to it, and
Hold
I
on.
just finished
Maggie,
it yesterday.
Okay, Maggie, do you care about spoilers? It's not a spoiler
not
for the
really.
story.
No, not
So
really.
if I say, okay, I lost. Okay, and now spoiler alert to anyone who is going to watch the season 2 finale of Strange New Worlds. This is a spoiler. Okay. We watched / recorded the episode about with
Scotty?
what's his face, Scotty,
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later,
Oh, you saw the finale and you met
I
Scotty,
watched
yeah.
this fucking
'Cause he's in it for a
episode
bit.
and I immediately was like, he's haunting me. Literally, this character has never popped up in my, like, character has not come up in anything. And then we record, and then within like 2-3 days, they end with like, oh, hey, young Scotty. And I was like, what the fuck? What is, that's a wild coincidence in terms of timing, though. Of all the times to have watched that episode, and then immediately after, Scotty is in that a completely different Star Trek show.
I didn't
Wild.
I didn't see it coming, actually, and I think they did a pretty good job with him. Like it wasn't forced.
Yeah, no, it was fine. But the second I heard the Scottish accent, I was like,
Yeah.
you better not be fucking kidding me. and then they're like, oh, he's Montgomery Scott, and I'm like, fuck me. What the fuck?
You're
but young
angry
Scotty.
about it?
Well, because I did not like Scotty in the TNG episode, but young Scotty was fine.
Yeah.
So
He's
fine.
great in
Yeah.
the original series, and he's really great in the movies. But I totally get not really loving him in that particular episode. He's kind of up his own butt
Yeah.
a couple of times.
He just gives, I think I said this in the episode, he just gives me the vibe of like boomers complaining about how millennials ruin every industry. That's
Yeah.
the vibe I get from him.
Yeah, he did kind of have boomer energy in that episode.
Yeah.
But that was kind
yeah,
of the
I
point
just-
of the episode. I get,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. But I just like, what a wild, and I've been waiting for someone to watch this because I was like, what a wild fucking coincidence that like within a few days,
Yeah.
two Scotties, wild. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if it's cool, I want to bring up something that's not related to this episode, but is related to Star Trek. Because
Okay.
I want to bring it up on
Okay.
the podcast, but I'm not sure when I'm going to get like an organic opportunity to. So I'm just going to bring it up now. So I remembered that we had had some brief discussion about fan fiction or something, and you had talked about like how like some of the fics you read were basically like sex pollen fics, and then we joked about how there's literally like a Star Trek episode that's like a sex pollen episode. And so recently I came across a TikTok that was talking about the origins of the Omegaverse.
Oh God.
Right, and they were saying
no.
they were saying like, okay, the Omegaverse origin is like technically this one like supernatural fic, I think it was, but she's like, if you want to get real technical with it, the origin of Omegaverse sort of concepts starts with Star Trek with Spock and Ponfar and the sort of fuck or die trope. So then it clicked for me that like because Star Trek was sort of like the first like modern fandom that had what we think of as like fan fiction and stuff, like especially erotic fan fiction. I'm like, oh my God, does the sex pollen trope actually come from Star Trek maybe?
Oh my God.
So
It
yeah,
might.
so
Oh my, that's so funny.
yeah, so like there might be more of these like fanfic tropes that like have their origins in Star Trek, which is just so fucking fascinating to me. And very
Wild.
funny.
That actually, well, because yeah, I get like they are, yeah, I guess because it's like kind of that one of the earlier fandom
Yeah.
stuff. So like,
it
yeah,
is-
that
Yeah.
makes so much sense.
Fandoms in the sense that we imagine them as didn't really exist before Star Trek.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
think
is-
technically, like, Sherlock, like, the original books and stuff did have a fandom that was similar to how we think of modern fandom.
Yes,
But Star
yes, it
Trek
did.
is, like, the original series is credited with being the first, like, modern fandom. And, like, had all the same things that we think of in fandom culture these days.
Wild.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
that would be
now I'm also now thinking like what other kind of like tropes could have come from or inspired by Star Trek. Oh, I wonder if there's like someone's done research about this.
I'm sure they have somewhere.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
like
so
a list of just all the. Wait, hold on. I wonder. Hold on.
what are you looking
If
up?
if I just write tropes inspired by Star Trek. What?
Well, maybe not just tropes, because the thing is that Star Trek also, like, it has a much larger, what's the word? It's had a much larger effect on our culture since it came out, but that doesn't mean that the tropes actually started with Star
Yeah.
Trek. It just may have popularized them because of how much effect it had on television culture afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well, there is an article called 10 Best Sci-Fi Tropes Star Trek Popularized, and
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I just tried to open it, but it's like, oh, look like you're using an ad blocker. Yeah, I am. But just from like the Google results page, it says, I just got to read a couple of these because one of them is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, not hilarious, but truly like, what? Okay, so number 10 was phasers. Number 9 is alien non-interference clause. Number 8 is human alien hybrids. And number 7 just says fantastic racism. What?
Interesting. Okay.
That's a wild.
The phasers thing I definitely don't agree with, because like ray guns were a thing before Star Trek, decades before.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
it's popularized, not invented, just popularized. But
No. Like they were in science fiction. That the thought of like a laser beam gun is not even remotely new, and was definitely not something that was.
Yeah, it was definitely
that
popular
stood out in
before.
sci-fi before or after.
okay.
yeah, it was definitely popular
Yeah,
before.
it's a
Star
trope
Trek.
that was. Yeah, it was embedded within science fiction before Star Trek came
Yeah.
out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then that list is wrong.
Yeah, I think what they might mean is fantastical racism, which
It
means
says
like
fantastic racism. I hopefully that is what you're like saying is correct, but
Yeah.
because I can't open the article because I'm not unblocking my ad block.
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, so like I'm assuming they mean fantastical racism, as in like racism against like non-existent races or like sci-fi races. That's my
That makes
assumption.
sense. I just like that they're just like number 7, fantastic racism.
Yeah.
What?
That is
What
a very
wild
funny
way
yeah.
to put that. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to favorite moments and lines.
Okay, I got a bunch. I love all the Doppel-Datas. Especially obviously Mustache Data. He was real fun.
Yeah.
Troy, incredible. One of her best outfits. I wish she got to do more. She just was real fun. I love she got to be her mysterious stranger moment. Love that for her. Alexander saying, "Saddle up, father." I also what the fuck, Reg? What the fuck? Troy's entrance in this episode is truly chef's kiss. Incredible. Hat gets shot off someone's head. Truly incredible. Worf saying, "What are his rights in this century?" Oh boy, Worf really just trigger happy. Like, calm down, Worf.
Yeah, I love that he cares like about the law, but also is like just fully like cool with like executing someone without a trial.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, do we go to trial? Do I execute him?
Yeah.
Like, Worf, calm down. I like Data's. I find it extremely difficult to predict what you will find acceptable to Spot.
Yeah.
I love that we got to see Spot. It's very cute, adorable little ginger cat. I like that Riker reads part of Ode to Spot.
Yeah.
And I like at the last bit with Worf when he put on the hat and like was like pretending to like get his
Be
gun.
a cowboy or whatever.
Yeah, Worfy's got a gun. Yeah. There's quite a lot of things in this I liked.
Yeah. I think like my favorites are like pretty much the same as yours. I I love the bits with Spot, Data's cat, because it's just cute. Spot. And like, yeah, I especially love all the Troy stuff. I love how into it she is. I love like the way she plays it. Marina Sirtis looks like she's having fun. So yeah, I think that's my favorite bits is all of Troy's stuff.
For me, it ends up being like some of the. It's not the lines context in the episode that I end up enjoying. It's like either the performance or what the line implies. So at one point, when the guy in the jail is like, "Oh, when my old man hears about this," and Worf just says, "What, old man?" And like the fact that he adds an H before what is just like, oh, Worf.
That is
God
my
fucking
favorite.
What?
Honestly, that is one of my favorite things that people do in TV shows and movies is when they add that H in front of the W. What are you doing? Like, me and my friend are watching a show now called The Gilded Age, and every so often someone will throw in that H, and it just makes me so fucking happy.
Yeah.
Because why? But I love it. People should do it more.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's a very funny affect.
I love it. Truly, yeah.
And not to give Family Guy any credit, but like that whole like that one episode where Stewie just like adds unnecessary H's, I think it is a funny bit.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
I also
way?
really like when they're telling Data, like, Data, you did it again. He's like, did what?
Yeah, that's very funny. Oh man, you could tell like it's funny because Brent Spiner, he's very good at the serious stuff, and he's very good at being Data, who is stoic and doesn't emote and stuff. But you can just tell that Brent Spiner like indulges in every opportunity to be fucking silly.
Yep.
And it's funny every time. Because it's such a contrast to Data's character.
Yes, exactly. And then my my absolute favorite ends up being a line near the beginning that comes from fucking Patrick Stewart of all people. When what do you call it? When the doctor walks into his quarters and is like, "Hey, you should definitely do this part. You'd be great for it." And he's just like, I'm not much of an actor. And it's like, it's Patrick Stewart. Like, they did that intentionally.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh, I like that a lot too. When she gives him like, he's like, oh no, I couldn't do it. And then she's like, oh, that's okay. It's just like a 2-line role. And he's like, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a really good scene.
I also, it was also funny when like Worf is like trying to avoid facing Alexander by like giving himself all this work. And like then he has to go face him.
I do want to point out one more thing. I neglected to bring this up earlier, kind of on purpose, but my favorite thing about this episode is something that's not in the episode at all. It's the alternate title of the episode.
Oh.
The Good, the Bad, and the Klingon.
Boo. No, A Fistful of Datas is a superior title.
I mean, yes,
definitely is.
but I like the fact that they both exist.
Oh, yeah. Listen, that other title is a good title if you haven't heard the title A Fistful of Datas.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It was actually their working title before they came up with A Fistful of Datas.
Yeah, I imagine
I
so.
hope whoever came up with that title got like a bonus.
I hope so too.
I hope they got something nice. I hope they're like, I don't know. They deserve something nice.
Yeah.
That's truly an A+ title name.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time for predictions for the next episode. So the next episode is also kind of a Data episode. It's called The Quality of Life. And so in this episode, LaForge is assigned to survey new mining development where Data becomes rather fascinated with this new robot that's been developed called the Exocompt. So there's a scientist on the planet who's developed this new robot, and Data becomes very intrigued by it.
Okay, my guess is this. I think you said like it's an advanced robot. I bet this robot probably can experience feelings, and I bet that's probably why Data is like so intrigued by it because it probably maybe makes Data think about like if there's like, well, we know there is a program because fucking Lore got it to make him feel emotions. Oh my god, Lore! What the fuck happened to Lore? Oh my god. So I wonder if this is something that like this would bring Data back to like, well, if this robot like slash is considered an android as well.
So that's why you think he's fascinated by it, because you think
Yeah, because it can because the is it the android, this new robot guy person
well
can
it's
experience emotion.
yeah. I should have said it's not like a humanoid robot. It is like a little like it's like a little machine. It doesn't look like a human.
Oh, I still stand by.
Yeah.
I think the robot has feelings.
Alrighty.
Yeah, because I feel like that to Data would be like the most interesting part is because Data is so focused on, you know, human emotion, and that we know Data feels something at this point, but he's not willing to accept or like, you know, have his understanding of feelings, which is honestly very human in a way too.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to admit his feelings. Robot would rather pretend he doesn't have feelings than go to therapy.
Same bestie.
So I feel like that is something that would intrigue Data a lot if a robot, like it's not like a humanoid, but like a robot can understand feelings or understand, you know, human emotion or I guess how to react appropriately in a social situation. I don't know. But I feel like it's got to be emotions. Like Data is like fascinated by the fact that this machine, this robot can understand emotions.
All right.
Or can feel. Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
All right, awesome.
Feelings.
It just reminded me of how like Ferengi say females. Females.
Oh,
Females.
Yeah.
Feelings. Anyway, if you'd like to see if Dory's correct, watch along with us and join us for the next episode of Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.